Hi there, folks, and welcome to the Word Solutions for this week's Daily Rigour, issue number 228. So, a really interesting geography story to start off with this week. So, Mount Everest is actually higher than been previously officially calculated. Um, Anytime there's a practical use of trigonometry in the real world, we've definitely got to get it in there. So, we want to know the new height of Mount Everest first of all. We do know that the old official measurement from China, 8,844.43, is 4.43 metres less than the new height. So for the new height, we need to add this 4.43 on. Quite a straightforward addition. I mean, there's no carrying here. So that's going to be 8,848.86 metres. Part B, probably my most favourite geography question of all time. So before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the tallest mountain in the world? Well, of course, it was still Mount Everest, even though it hadn't been discovered yet. I wonder if any of you went for Mount Kilimanjaro or even Ben Nevis or something like that. Anyway, moving on. So, in this international maths and science test, there was a benchmark question that was answered that had an international average of 24%. I wonder if you managed to answer it correctly. So a teacher wants to put 30 students into groups so that each group has the same number of students and each group has an odd number of students. So show two different ways the teacher could make the groups. So because it's the same number of students, this is going to be all about division, and we're basically looking at factor pairs here. So you always look at, so that is of course two numbers which times together to give 30. So let's start in the middle first of all. So we've got 6 times 5 is 30, and because each group is to have an odd number of students, we could have 6 groups of 5 students. So we couldn't then reverse that into 5 groups of 6 students because then there wouldn't be an odd number of students in the group. So working out the way, we've got the two obvious ones, 10 and 3. So we could have 10 groups of 3 students. So again, there's an odd number of students in each group. So that's us answered the question. That's us shown two ways to do this. Now, in terms of 2 groups of 15 students, I mean, for me, that would be far too many for it to be considered a group. So I would probably say that these two are the best answers here. If you answered it correctly, well done. So at the Daily Rigour, we always analyse very thoroughly important stories of all sorts, but we're not looking at all sorts today. We're looking at boxes of office chocolates, Roses and Quality Street. So part A, we're asked first of all, how many Dairy Milk chocolates are in a box of roses? I mean, if you knew their colour, you might have been able to count it from the picture. So there's 8 country fudge. There's also the same amount of caramel chocolates and golden barrel chocolates. So that's 3 chocolates that have 8 each. So it's 8 lots of 3 chocolates. So then we've got 4 signature truffles, so we can add 4, and 5 strawberry dreams, so we can add 5. And that comes to 33. Now what we can do is we can take that off of the number of chocolates in the box, which is 57, leaving us with 24 more chocolates. So that's an equal split of hazel and caramel, orange cream, dairy milk and hazel swirl. So we can divide that by 4, so that means there's going to be 6 of each of those chocolates, which means to answer the question, there's going to be 6 dairy milks. So let's look at the Quality Street part just now. So we've got the same number of orange crunch, toffee finger, chocolate block, toffee penny, green triangle and purple ones, 4 of each. So that's going to be 6 lots of 4 chocolates each, which is 24 chocolates in total. This is half the number of strawberry delights, which is the same amount of fudge. So if we have the 4, that's going to give us 2. But if there's 4 of each of these chocolates and this is half the number of strawberry delights, that means we need to double this to get the number of strawberry delights, and that's going to be 8 with the same amount of fudge. So that's 2 types of chocolate with 8 each. So there's 9 orange creams, which is adding 9, and 5 caramel brownies, so we're adding 5, and that's going to come to 54. If we take that off the number of Quality Street per tin, then there's 9 more Quality Street than roses, so we need to add 9 on to the 57, so that's going to give us 66. We're going to take the 54 off that to get 12 left, and then it tells us it's an equal split between coconut eclair and caramel swirl, so we just divide that by 2 to get 6 of both coconut eclair and caramel swirl. So that means there's going to be 6 coconut eclairs in a tin of Quality Street. So maybe we practical learning task during your home learning, if you've got a tin, an unopened tin sitting in the house, which I don't think will be possible at this stage of the year, but if you do, you could maybe do a wee graph and count how many of each chocolate you've got. So on to our literacy story. So a Harry Potter book set to be sold for 50p in a car boot sale is now expected to fetch 100,000 times more at auction. Why does stuff like this never happen to me? So how much is the book expected to sell at for auction? So it's basically just 100,000 times 50p. So because it's obviously going to be in the pounds, our final answer, we'll write the pennies in pound format. So let's get the old place value line. So we've got hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, thousands, hundreds, tens, units, a decimal point, and then tenths. So the 5 stands for 5 tenths. If we're multiplying by 100,000, we're moving it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place values. So if we move it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place values, it takes us to tens of thousands, so it's 5 tens of thousands, which means it's expected to go for £50,000. So there you have it, folks, our word solutions for this week's The Daily Rigour. We hope you enjoyed solving these problems. Stay tuned for next week's edition, when we're going to be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and bye for now.